Jody was telling us this morning that he's purposely putting you guys in very competitive situations this camp. It seems like this year more than ever, there's more competitive nature. How do you feel like the team's responding to that?
I think the team is in a great place from a competitive standpoint. Everyone's just striving and we're pushing each other every day. He puts us in those he puts us in those tough situations, in those situations where you have to make a play and figure it out. And I think competitively and from a camaraderie standpoint, it builds confidence in one another, and the guy next to you, the guys on the other side of the ball. And so it's good to come out here and compete, know you're getting better because of the opponent you're going against every day.
What have you seen from Saquon this year versus last? He just seemed more comfortable. He's having fun. He's trash talking. He talked a lot about that. Have you seen a difference from him personality-wise?
I haven't seen a difference. That's who he is, and after the year he's had and after the success he's had, you'd only think that you'd have confidence in yourself and where you are. And so I just want to see him build off of what he's established for himself.
For you, about you, right? I mean, more confident, Super Bowl MVP. Do you feel that too?
I get the same answer.
Jalen, how would you describe your relationship and chemistry with Jahan and how much it's grown since this time last year?
Yeah, I got fired up today. Jahan had a big time catch versus cover zero. But it's just you build those things based off of time and reps and the efforts put in. And so you see Dallas out there and that connection that we've had. I mean, that's been a special connection all camp. Smitty, AJ when he's out there, Jahan showing, and now that we're able to build, and so just keep showing up and keep making plays and keep taking advantage of it. But obviously, I have a lot of confidence in Jahan. I had a lot of confidence in him as the year went on last year, and for him to make the big time plays he made towards the end of the year, that was all strictly based off of confidence.
When you throw that Quinion, whether it's to AJ or Devontae, what have you noticed about how much he's improved from last season, and what's it like trying to put the ball in there for that coverage?
I think for Quinion, he's just growing in confidence. I don't know if y'all asked me or I brought it up, but it was something that I said the last time I sat here, just his confidence. And I even took the time to ask him. I said, man, what do you feel like the difference is for you in year two? He said confidence. And so just want to see that continue to develop and see that continue to grow. He's been very sticky in coverage. He's been challenging all of those guys on the offensive side from a one-on-one standpoint. And so it's been good, it's been competitive, and we've all been getting better for it.
The Bengals have said they're going to play Joe Burrow on Thursday. Do you feel like you can get yourself ready without playing in preseason games at this point in your career?
Well, I think anytime I have the opportunity to play, I'd relish in it and take advantage of it. And so if Coach makes that decision, I will.
You've been with Kevin for a long time. I mean, getting in-game experience with him, is that something you want in preseason?
Yeah, I think there are times where you can do that, obviously, in the game. Preseason games aren't real games in terms of what the defense is giving you and kind of what we're showing from an offensive standpoint. So that's all that you want to take into consideration. But, when you have these competitive practices and, like we're doing these situations like we're doing, you just want to take advantage of that. And so that's what I'm afforded and given, and that's all I can control in terms of taking advantage of it.
So to get the joint practices again, that's probably a big thing.
I think practice every day is a big thing when you talk about building chemistry. So nothing's more important than the other. At the end of the day, every ounce of time we get with one another, we take advantage of it.
Jalen, the organization when it comes to keeping its good players tends to get ahead of things, right? Like this time, you used to be like in the third year, you could have waited a little bit longer. Is there a practical effect to that in the day-to-day, like being in the organization, practicing games? Does it help that how we in the organization kind of follow that plan as that process?
I think that may be a question for someone that maybe is awaiting that. I do think it brings a sense of confidence, but you can kind of see a trend on how things go. whether it be by position or by timing and things like that. And so, you know, Howie's always done a great job at doing what he does. He's been very intentional about his decisions, and so, you know, it's continued to put us in a great place. And so, as a player, as a quarterback, I want to hold up on my end and do what I'm asked to do.
That question that you asked Whitney, how often do you have those types of conversations like that? And is it intentional on your part, like out of curiosity, or to try to instill something in those guys?
Yeah, it's intentional. I think even in curiosity, my moments of being curious are even intentional. And so just having those conversations and seeing that, and, you know, if I got something on my mind, I'm going to ask it. And I think as a teammate, getting to know my teammates from that standpoint, that stands a lot, because I want to know how they're seeing the game. I want to see why you're playing this type of technique right here, because this is what I'm thinking. So just those conversations, they go a very, very long way. They bring you closer together. And it's something that I think that is oozing throughout the environment, because, you know, everyone has experienced what it's like to, not everyone, but, you know, you got new guys that have seen what that looks like from afar, and you got guys that, you know, were on last year's team that have experienced that type of success. And so everybody wants to feel that feeling, and there's a bit of a togetherness, a bit of cohesiveness there to try and build just to pursue the collective, and I couldn't ask for more.
On the topic of competition in practice, which obviously earlier you said practice was harder than a game. What does that kind of breed amongst the group, where you know it's kind of like iron sharpens iron mentality, you're kind of seeing the best before you get this season?
Well, that's a pretty unique thing, you know, because from Smitty's standpoint, I can assure that that's a Alabama mentality, and that's something that's kind of been ingrained in us. And so, given how many of those type of guys we have around here, you know, SEC type guys, it all kind of comes from the same template and mold. And so, competition is everything. How Coach Sirianni goes about it, I applaud it and support it fully. And we just kind of build off of that. I think Coach Sirianni does a really good job of, again, just bringing those situations to life in practice, so we can already have a mode and have that much conviction when it is 4th and 5 and what we're going to do. 3rd and, you know, 1, what we're going to do. Everybody knows what we're going to do in that moment, but just building that confidence in one another.
How do you think Tyler Stevens doing in communications with them with calls at the line of scrimmage and having that continuity?
Yeah, I think he's doing an amazing job. You know, Steen has stepped in every opportunity he's had and really taking advantage of that moment, and he's doing the same right now. It's a collective effort when you talk about making calls and getting the table set up there, and it's really all 6 of us, mainly the interior 3, center leading it, and then myself kind of seeing it. So it's just an overall communication. Steen's doing a great job. I know Lane talks highly of him and speaks highly of him, believes in him a lot, and that's important for him, because that's his neighbor and his running mate.
What's it been like going up against Jahad Campbell?
Sorry?
What's it been like going up against Jahad Campbell?
Yeah, for Jahad, he has a presence on the field with his range and how quick he is, how fast he is. He definitely is you can see he's a great football player, and he's just flying around. You know, you see the guys come in, and you know, you start to see him settle down, and just you're starting to see that a little bit from a reactive standpoint. He's going to continue to learn everything and build off of where he is, and, you know, they got a great linebacker room in there to help him along his journey. Great coaches, and so he'll continue to build. But he has a ton of athletic ability, natural football instinct, and definitely feel it on the field.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everyone. I'll be up for today.